Buffalo and Miami. So the story of this game is really not the result. The story of this game is Tua. So I'll try to be a little bit more serious here than I normally am, but Tua got hurt again. His brain got knocked up again. Uh, Another concussion, ironically enough, by Damar Hamlin, who obviously everybody knows his story. I'm not going to get into that. And the question of whether or not Tua should continue to play football has already been, I think, discussed up to this point. But it happened Thursday night, so I didn't really have much of an opportunity to talk about it. So I want to spend some time talking about it. Do I think Tua should retire? Yeah, probably. I mean, like, I've mentioned this before, or I mentioned this before on the live broadcast. It's not like we're talking about ACL tears or breaking your arm or something like that, breaking your ankle, Achilles, whatever. We're talking about your brain. We're talking about your ability to function, right? Like it's similar even to the Damar Hamlin situation, where like it was just impressive enough the fact that he was able to go back and play football again. But if he chose not to, it's like, yeah, I get it, right? We're talking about your heart. In this case, we're talking about your brain. And Tua is not an older guy, right? But these sorts of things, like the more concussions you get, the more likely you are to get another concussion. It's similar to breaking an arm, right? If you break your arm, you're more likely, if assuming you're doing the same sort of thing, you're more likely to break it again, right? Like it's not always going to heal completely fully, right? There's going to be some scarring. There's going to be some scarring that doesn't come back. And with Tua, it's just he had such a great year last year. He got his extension this year. Obviously, the Dolphins do not want him to have to retire, but unfortunately, it just keeps happening. And you don't want to see a man basically lose it, essentially, at, age 45 because he wanted to play a few more football games that ultimately didn't end up meaning anything. Because unfortunately, are the Dolphins going to win the Super Bowl this year? No, probably not, because Tua is on the IR, so he'll be gone for at least 4 weeks. And Skylar Thompson is your quarterback, so you're probably going to lose most of those games. I would be shocked if you won those games. I don't know who they're playing, but assuming they're not playing the Carolina Panthers 4 times, they're probably going to lose at least a few of those games. And you already lost this past game. And unfortunately, even when Tua was playing against the Bills, he looked terrible. He looked awful. He looked like Tua turned the ball over all over again. So you had your fun, not to put it lightly. He won a national championship with Alabama. He made it to the NFL. I want to say he's had a Pro Bowl season. I could be wrong on that. You've done what you can, but unfortunately, you lost the injury lottery. And it kind of goes back to a quote from the movie Moneyball, if you've ever seen it, where the scouter is telling Billy Bean about, at a certain point, the game, tells you can't play. At a certain point, you get told you can't play the game anymore. And that can happen when you're 18. It can happen when you're 12. It can happen when you're 40. But everybody gets told. And I feel like right now, Tua, the game is telling you got to step aside. Now, I will say I don't want anybody. I wouldn't support necessarily the NFL or ownership or coaching or whoever to force that decision upon him. I think he should be the one making the decision. However, I do think his family, the NFL, ownership, general manager, and coaching, I think they should tell him to retire. I do. And I know that's self-serving because I'm not a Dolphins fan. So, I'm sure Dolphins fans, they know that he is their only hope for the quarterback position, but unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work out one way or the other. So, yeah, I hope it turns out okay, and I hope he doesn't have to retire. And this is the last major injury he suffers. But just knowing history, just knowing how this sort of thing works, I doubt it will be. Hi, it's me again. If you enjoyed what you just saw, hit the like and subscribe button. We do live shows every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Hope to see you there.